Hello everyone, I am Mahala, if you don't know who I am. I'm very excited today because on my channel, Hello Mahala, I'm doing my first commission piece. Basically, if you saw my video a few videos ago on a mid-century style dresser with like a little wave detail, I'll put a picture here so you can see it. And the woman that bought it sent me another picture from Facebook Marketplace saying, do you think that these two nightstands would go with the dresser? And I said, look, I'm not sure, you could change the hardware, but they are different colors. So the dresser that I did is in Fusion Mineral Paint's Goddess Ashwagandha color, which is like a soft gray off-white. It's super lush. And then the nightstands that she was sending me were actually in a white, like a bright white color. So I offered and I said, if you find two nightstands that you would like me to refinish, I can do it in the same style and color with the same hardware so that it all matches to the dresser. And she said, amazing, I have two nightstands at home already, which are these guys behind me right here. So I will be refinishing these in that style. You know, they will be a little bit different obviously because these nightstands look incredibly different to the dresser. They're also very large nightstands and the dresser was a little bit more on the petite side, so it'll be interesting. I think that I can make it match using the same color, the same hardware, and I'm also going to pop some legs on as well. I need to figure out how to attach these to the nightstands. But before I can get to any of this stuff, you all know the drill. I gotta clean these pieces first and remove all of the tape on here and check where I need to actually make some little repairs, and there's definitely spots that need repairs. Let's do it. Let's flip this. These nightstands are rather dirty. There's also been quite a lot of stuff spilt on it. I'm not sure if it's something that's been spilt. I can't tell, but it's like yellow liquid. I'll show you. Some of that here. And then it's also here at the base of these drawers. I'm gonna give this a vacuum as well. There's a lot of dust, and also wipe it down with my Dawn dish soap and plain water afterwards. I am done with the cleaning. These nightstands are definitely not in the best shape. There's a lot of bubbling, a lot going on, a lot coming off. When I was cleaning it and I was doing it very gently, it's like, it's not even proper laminate. I think it's just like it's almost like a contact paper rather than a laminate. So it's really bizarre, but this is very firm underneath. So I think that that should be fine to cover up and fix. But now I'm going to try and troubleshoot how to attach the legs, because I think that's going to take me just a little bit more time to figure out. We're going to see how we go with that. I'm going to have a think, have a ponder, see what can be done, and then we'll get those legs happening. So I've got 4 of these like extra pieces of, I think they're just like 1x2s or 1x3s maybe, something along those lines. So I think I might use these and just create a base here and here to support it, but I'm just not sure yet. So I'm going to experiment, I'm going to cut the pieces, see how we go, and then make my final decision. You guys, I got a new toy. It's just going to make making the base of these nightstands a lot easier, because when I cut the wood before, it just wasn't quite straight enough. It's understandable, my handsaw skills are pretty poor quality, to be honest, but this is making it so much easier. I'll show you. Right? To actually attach these pieces of wood in the position that I want them to be in, I have actually decided to remove the brackets here and shift them up a little bit. It'll just mean that when I pop the piece of wood in, it will sit back here, the bracket will go on, you won't be able to see it from underneath, and then into the bracket go the legs, so it'll all look nice and seamless. So that's the idea. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to use this Lepage No Nails to glue it on. I'll keep them in place with some clamps. I will also use some brackets just for some extra support. I want to make sure that there's nothing wobbly, and these nightstands are pretty heavy just on their own without having things inside them. So I'll definitely be providing extra support, but this should, in theory, do the trick. Alrighty, so I've got that No Nails glue on there. One of the nightstands I left overnight because I had 3 clamps only, and that is fully dry now. And then the other one I came back this morning and I've put the No Nails glue on and switched the clamps from this side to that side. Eventually I probably should get some more clamps, but for now we'll deal with that. So I'm going to move on to the next step, which is the legs. I picked these up from Amazon. I have 8 of them. They're a little bit glossy, and I'm actually going to paint them to match the dresser that I sold for this commission piece. They will be painted in this beautiful off-white soft grey Goddess Ashwagandha paint. It is a paint and primer in one, 0 VOC, which means I can paint inside in my basement. Super perfect, especially when it comes time to winter. When it comes time for winter later on in this year, it'll mean that I can continue doing my furniture flips and painting throughout the winter. I'm going to pop this on, but before I pop it on, I am going to do a little bit of a Scuff Sand because the legs are a tiny bit glossy, just to get rid of that and make sure that the paint adheres very nicely. To actually Scuff Sand, I'm going to use this little 120 grit sanding pad. I'm not going to use my electric sander because it is just a Scuff Sand, and I think this should be fine. So I'm going to use this now and then get to painting. I'm actually going to switch to a finer grit sandpaper because this is a little bit too rough. So I'm going to go with a 220 instead of a 120. I'm going to continue on the train of things that I can do while I wait for the No Nails glue to dry on the second dresser, this one here. One of those things is that I can attach the the L brackets to the wood that I put in with the No Nails. They are very secure, but because the legs are going to be attached to this, I just want to make sure there is as much support as possible and that those legs are not going anywhere. I bought 2 different types. These guys here, which are very similar to the ones that are supporting the sides of each of these pieces. And then I got these smaller ones here. So I'm going to flip this one over and have a look and decide which one I think is going to be the best way to go. I have ticked off a number of things on my list of stuff to do before I flip these guys over and start putting some wood filler, primer, paint, you know the drill. So I've painted 2 coats onto the legs. I have put in all of the brackets and also the bracket for the legs. I'm not actually sure what that is called, and I feel like I should know it. And now we have come to the drawers. So the person who I'm doing the commission for has requested to have the same hardware that I put onto the dresser. So it's 2 different types of hardware. One I don't currently have. It will arrive in a couple days, and then the other one are these matte black knobs. Essentially it's 2 on each dresser, so 2 on the top one, 2 on the bottom one, and then the same on the other side. I need to figure out exactly where I'm going to put the holes for this, because this kind of dresser doesn't naturally, no dresser naturally has holes, but this kind of dresser doesn't actually have holes in it. I'm going to take measurements of the width, the length, the depth, the width. I'm going to take measurements of the width of the dresser and the length of the dresser as well to determine exactly where I'm going to put my pilot holes. Cool. I've got all of the drawers with new holes for the hardware that I am going to pop on eventually. I'm actually going to move on to the next step, which is flipping these guys over onto their legs and then getting prepared to do the wood filler. I'm probably going to do a bit of spackle. No more dilly-dallying. Let's get to it. The spackling that I'm using is pink in color. You can see here it's pink. So when it goes white, it means that it's dry. And the reason I'm using this is partly because of that, and also I think that it's just going to work a little bit better with this. The spackling is all dry on the couple of spots on the drawers that I needed to fix. It's still drying on the nightstand bodies though. So I'm going to move forward with the drawers to keep the ball rolling on this piece. I'm going to take a 220 grit sandpaper, I'll hand sand that down, and then do a very light scuff sand on the rest of it so I can get the first coat of the primer. Well, the 1 coat of primer on this. You only need to do 1 coat with the primer that I'm going to use. And the primer that I'm going to use is the Fusion Mineral Paint Ultra Grip Bonding Agent. It goes on with a sort of milky finish and then it dries clear, which is great. It works particularly well for laminate pieces, which is what I'm working with today. But to kick us off, sanding time. ASMR break is over. Alrighty, so this is at least 12 hours before I can pop on paint. So I'm gonna leave this overnight and I will come back tomorrow and pop on the first coat of paint. Adieu until tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. And we are back. I am finally ready to paint. I do need to take a few things off, so I will do that before I actually commence my painting. But the color that I'm going to use, which you already know, is Goddess Ashwagandha. It's just beautiful. It's so luscious and lovely. And I will be using my large Bennett brush along with a artist brush. Alrighty, so I am going to commence with the painting, taping first, then the painting. right now. It has been quite the adventure with this project, but it's finally time to do the top coat. I want to see this piece come together, and come together today because it's being picked up tomorrow, so time is of the essence, which means I'm going to jump right in to getting this first coat of the top coat on. Now the top coat that I'm going to use is my favorite and classic that you will have seen before, and it's the Tough Coat. Yeah, it's the Clear Tough Coat by Fusion Mineral Paint. So with the Clear Tough Coat, you have to wait 12 hours after painting before you can pop on a coat. So I'm going to do that, and to apply this particular top coat, you take a sponge, which I've got this one here. It's Country Chic sponge in my little IKEA bag from a previous project, and then a little sponge here, sponge brush that I'm going to use to get into those little details, and you need to mist it. So that is the trick to getting a streak-free finish, is you mist your sponge. Let's get this done. This has been quite the experience. It definitely went from extreme excitement to extreme despair at times during this project, but I am over the moon that it has finally come together. I still need to add the hardware to this piece and obviously do the final reveal for you. But first I just wanted to talk through a couple of challenges. So this was my first commission piece that I had been offered. I didn't really think to ask what condition the nightstands were in, what they were made of. I was just so excited to get my first commission. So the lesson that I've taken away from this is inspect the piece of furniture before you accept a commission. And for me personally, if it's a laminate piece, I'm probably going to say no, because both of these were laminate pieces, although for me it was kind of a weird laminate. Like, it was a little bit more like plywood furniture had been built and then someone had taken wood-like wallpaper and just pasted it on. So it was a little bit waxy, but it didn't seem as durable as some other laminate pieces that I've worked on in the past. Yeah, so I think for future, if anyone is wanting to do furniture flipping or particularly commission work, inspect the furniture first. Possibly say no to laminate furniture unless it's in really good condition. I mean, I think like a 1950s laminate or a 1960s laminate is made significantly better than these guys. With all that said and done, it is time to say thank you to you guys for watching this video today. If you liked the video, if you want to know a little bit more about what I'm doing with furniture flipping, DIY projects and room makeovers, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you know when I pop up new videos. I do pop up a new video every Friday, which is typically furniture flipping, and then on the odd occasion I'll throw up a DIY or a room makeover video as well. And if you want a little bit more behind the scenes and of course some beautiful photos of furniture and room makeovers, you can check out my Instagram at alamahala for more. So without further ado, let's do the final reveal of these somewhat trying nightstands. idea. Let's get to it.